It snuck up on us, but here we are. Fucking Attack on Titan Chapter 130 is days away from release. That means we gotta get them cheap views with a last minute predictions video. And we even put Eren in the title and thumbnail to get everybody to click on it. Aren't we fucking above IQ over here? We got Twitch going. We are live on Twitch. That's where we record these videos. You can come and join us on Twitch. So we can interact and chat, and they can give me all the content I need to fill out this video. Who knows how long it's going to be. I think we have like 7 slides for our beautiful PowerPoint here. That's more than usual. But we got Minty in chat, Zan's in chat, Ann is in chat. So come join us over here if you give a fuck and you want to scream your alternate opinion, your altering opinion. Whatever the word I'm looking for is. Fuck it, we got shit to get into. Is Eren coming back? We'll talk about that. That's literally the last slide, so we'll get into that. But 130 is coming up, a big, round old number. I used to think we would be done by 130, well, at 130 really, but look at us now. We've got at least 5 to go. 5 might be the correct guess for how long we've got left, but I feel like we talk about that every month. So, we got a bunch to do here, mostly separated by characters and then Eren at the end. But we'll talk about a bunch of shit, I'm sure, in between. I'm sure Chad will pipe up with some very quality questions. Eren is a pussy baby bitch. Minty spamming. Hard agree there. Just kidding, bro. Exactly. He has a slide for Armin. Yes, it's pretty lame. Armin. What are we all to know? What are we to do now? Well, isn't that fucking embarrassing? I should probably proofread these before I make them. But what are we to do now is what we're saying here. The last chapter got retroactively. Apparently the actual title was retrospective instead of nostalgia, but fuck it. I don't have leaks in my PowerPoint. What the fuck are you talking about? Armin didn't speak at all last chapter. He seems to be doing a lot of thinking. It seems like Isama is having him stay out of things because he's probably thought of some plan that, if he revealed now, would unlock the narrative. That's why his jaw was basically shot off 2 chapters ago. Besides the symbolism of Armin's words, his biggest thematic weapon being taken away from him. Obviously, Armin's jaw is shot because he can't really talk right now. But we haven't got an internal monologue with Armin. We haven't really got his reaction to having to kill the friends on the dock and then kill the rest of the Jaegers to continue forward. Armin is always teetered on the line of trying to do what's moral, but also having a dark side that he will bring out in certain situations, like when he tried to manipulate Bertolt into thinking that they were torturing Annie. There's other examples of this, I'm pretty sure. But sometimes Armin can come out. So it'll be interesting to see, especially now that we're at the end, if his character is going to change. It's going to change now. So if he's going to get more ruthless, if he's going to try and do this more pacifistic, let's all be friends and talk about it route, we'll have to see where Armin is going now. But he's probably thinking right now, and he's going to think of a plan, and if we knew the plan, it would sort of spoil things down the line, so they're going to keep it a mystery and keep probably the narrative away from Armin in the meantime, for him to come back later when we are talking to Eren, so he can reveal it there and have some big epiphany that'll make everybody see the light. Or we won't, and Armin will fail, and I don't know, Gabi will have to stand up because she's a queen. What else do I have written down here? I think we'll get a lot more Armin looking mysteriously at things for the next few chapters before he has maybe his last big character moment / speech during the finale. We are at the end, so Armin's probably got one big massive character moment left in him. So I feel like a way to keep him out of things for now, so we can have other characters have their big final moments and other plot developments, is for him to sort of be sat back thinking of what he's going to do in the finale and come up with the idea and finally have a eureka moment of some sorts. Just like here, the image here where he's thinking about his friend's fucking body being removed into the sea. What the fuck is chat saying? Here's a slide on Armin. You should have just done a slide for Historia. I actually didn't. I didn't put Historia on the PowerPoint this time, but I'm sure we'll talk about her. Carla's a fucking illiterate. Jesus. Didn't the 126 prediction get a heaps of views because his story was in the thumbnail? Not false, but I'm pretty sure Eren will do better. Unless it's a Unless we got to put them girls in the thumbnails, we'll have to see. Eren looks like a girl, he's got long hair and shit. Breaking the gender dynamics. Eren will most likely be in shock. He'll be shook. I want a badass panel of Armin's jaw healing as he he blows the fuck out Floch with facts and logic. I don't read Vinland Saga, but the chapter showed on stream where Thorfinn does the serious face, talking about pacifism. That'll be Armin as he begins to talk, and we get a shot of his jaw healing. Yes, okay. Gabi should have her legs blown off so Kyle stops saying she will stand up. It's annoying how much Kyle sims for her. Gabi is queen. Don't know what Zan's talking about. Let's remember that like chapter 126, 130 is the end of a volume, so we might get some we might expect some sort of plot twist or reveal. Well, it's also chapter 130, so you would expect something big. And we get something big basically every chapter as we have like the last 30 chapters because we're wrapping up here. And I'm pretty sure the cliffhanger is going to be seeing Eren again. Probably an establishing shot of his in action new Titan form or something. We'll talk about that at the end when we get to our Eren panels, though. 126 was a reveal. It was them. It was them making the decision to form the alliance, but I don't believe the volume thing. Chapter 118 was a volume cliffhanger. Sure, let's move on. Falco's Post-First-Transformation. Another great thing we should have edited. Falco transformed for the first time last chapter and lost control, almost killing Piek. What will his reaction be to going to what will his reaction to this? What is his reaction to this going to be? See, I didn't fuck up. How is this going to affect his character? Do we have any updated theories on the thematic relevance of Falco's jaw titan design? It looks like a bird or a lizard. I'm not sure. Additionally, why does it have fur? Is the Zeke meme actually too close to the sun? Should be 2 with 2 O's there. I actually don't think he'll be in the next chapter. I could see some doing a deal where he's unconscious the entire chapter. Another Armin type thing just to keep him out of the narrative. I could see him being the one that Floch ends up taking captive or something. Maybe not realizing that he's a Titan. No, he probably would have saw it here, unless he's already been shot in the ocean at this point. I know, it doesn't matter. I don't know. If you look at their quote a few cliffhangers at the end of each volume. I think this is a good time to reconnect with the rebellion subplot. I expect the alliance, this to be an alliance-focused chapter, but I think the reveal could be the rumbling in Eren's Titan from the perspective of the Malanes on the coastline. That's true. We could completely shift dynamics and end up seeing things from Annie's father's perspective for a lot of the chapter and seeing the rumbling kill everybody on the ground and see how terrifying it is. I think we need a chapter like that. Again, we got to beat back these Jaegerists in the narrative somehow. There are cliffhangers for every chapter, boy. Not untrue. It's just 1 out of 4 of them every time happens when a volume closes. Not untrue. Oh god, no, Floch takes Falco captive again. Did he always do? No, Connie was the one that took him captive, right? Oh, I guess they did take him captive in the cells, so maybe. Falco has been unconscious / kidnapped 4 times so far. Well, he's just like Eren from the beginning. Floch doesn't know that Falco has the jaw, though. Was he already in the ocean when he saw this transformation? I'm not sure. He should. If Jean and Connie could figure out Falco inherited the jaw titan. See why Floch wouldn't have, because Floch didn't see the jaw get eaten. Who cares about this pedantic bullshit? It literally doesn't matter. So they could possibly deduce it's a new jaw titan and can be Gabi because she shot him. Falco is the only one unaccounted for. It doesn't matter. Falco will do something in the future. That's my hot take. The design, though. Is it supposed to be a bird? Is it supposed to be a lizard? It's got a weird jaw thing. Looks really cool in this panel. But I wonder what the fuck's going on with the design. Besides, it's just a wacky thing. Kyle, you don't matter. Kyle, you don't matter. You don't matter. I'm unsubbing. Falco is boring. True, let's move on. Gabi, someone who's not boring and is a queen. Gabi's father just died. How will she react? Will Gabi be angry or sad regarding Magarth's death? Will she take more control over the narrative like she did around 10 chapters ago? Remember that shitty Reddit meme about how Eren was being cycled out of the narrative for 8 chapters, then back in for 8 chapters and repeat? Well, when the antagonist is taking the focus, our protagonist must stand up too. Gabi is probably coming back into focus, as is Eren, but we will talk about Eren. Talk about the Eren bait in the title and thumbnail at the end of the video. Gabi is our main protagonist here. She's the queen. If Eren's coming back into focus, she has to come back in focus because the antagonist needs to be balanced by the protagonist. It's a weird Falco. I love how you worded all of this. Well, I did this fucking 5 minutes before recording, so fuck all of you. Who cares? But Gabi, yeah, she didn't really do things in the big meeting chapter. Last chapter she shot Falco. No, she shot Floch. Fuck these F names. Fuck these F words. There's a whole different meaning. What was my trail of thought going? Well, she really hasn't been in it for a little while, right? Chapter 123 was a big Gabi chapter, and I think since then she's taken more of a backseat role. She was sort of involved in the Avengers coming together, but really she was like, that wasn't really about her. It was about all the characters we've known pre-time skip coming together from the two different sides and talking. She doesn't really have a history outside of killing Sasha, which everybody seems to be over at this point, besides some very angry people on the internet who are very stupid. So it'll be interesting. I feel like she'll just be sad regarding Magath's death and she'll be over it halfway through the next chapter because we got to move on. We got shit to do and a world to save. And she's going to stand up and save it, so she's got to get over it lickety fucking split. So Falco will have more of a chance of clapping Gabi's cheeks than Kyla does. His shook. He is shook? I know Azan paid to have that highlighted, but there you go. Elena looks so hot with that cast. I don't know about that. Anne says facts. So are we all assuming Floch is still alive, right? That's an upcoming slide. Don't spoil the PowerPoint. Maybe Piek will confront Gabi and be like, I lost Porco and haven't mentioned it for the past 10 chapters. Shut the fuck up, you ugly brat. Piek's marginally sad about Magath. Does she really give a fuck about Porco? Does anyone give a fuck about Porco? Let's just move on, right? He was a little boring for my taste. But for real, them all talking about who they've lost would be great. Yeah, Gabi's now killed somebody from the opposite side and now lost more people, even though she already lost her 2 friends. But now a father figure has died, so she has to stand up. She no longer has the father figure. The father figure dies in every hero's journey thing. Obi-Wan just died. Now, Luke Gabi Skywalker has to stand the fuck up and take charge and beat that Darth Vader prick. Boy, he's a real bad bloke, but he is a bit redeemable, right? It's a 1-to-1 comparison. Eren is Darth Vader. Does that make Ymir? What the fuck is the Emperor's name? Palpatine? Does that make Ymir Palpatine? Little fucking Ymir fucking everything up for everybody? All she had to do was say no to Eren, and then none of this would have been happening. And maybe Reiner can fucking mention Bert for fuck's sake. Who cares about Bert? He was also a little boring. Not true. I like Bert. To be honest, Porco was a really good character to the end of his arc. Whatever. I never cared. Jesus Minty, what do you smoke? Porco was underutilized. No, he was utilized as much as he needed to be. We haven't seen Piek perspective yet here. That's true. We could get more Piek at any time now. I think we're getting a little late into this thing. I think Isama is banking on her, like, very fucking appealing personality to get her through this. Everyone loves Piek, so... Do we really need a backstory for Piek? Not really. And not until the last chapter, Isama was like, oh, I gotta characterize him so that his death matters. Porco was fine overall. His last moment was quite cool, at least in my opinion. Yeah, whatever. Porco, who cares? Piek dies, ? We will talk about that. But I think we're done here. Gabi's our queen and our protagonist. She will save the world. The group further coming together. We're still seeing the dynamic of the group change and grow as they learn to trust each other a little more. Obviously, this was a big fucking It was a big panel from last chapter. What the fuck am I saying here? Gene said he would never forgive Reiner, but he's helping him out here. Connie the same, feels pretty bad towards Reiner there, helping him out. Pieck and McGarth don't really have that much of a history. They were about to kill each other before Hanji came up with the idea for the alliance. Obviously the McGarth and thingy here, but Mikasa and Annie traditionally have a big rivalry. They're all helping each other out for the greater good here. What a great panel. Last chapter we got this panel, Mending Rifts. The characters themselves, like Gene said, that wouldn't be mended. The group is slowly coming together to work together more efficiently to save the world. McGarth and Shardis' sacrifices last chapter were also evidence of this. Fucking true. I could see Isama having them have another fight within the group, and I think they will struggle to work together to the end, until the end probably, showing that they didn't just magically all mesh together like the dumber members of the community are claiming. Floch will be involved in this somehow. I think he'll help rift the group a little bit more. I think we'll get little infighting and little disagreements until the end. I don't think they're ever going to fully be working together until like maybe they have to do one last big combo attack to kill Eren or something. I could see that maybe happening. I never thought about how in chapter 119 Jean and Connie are closer to Eren when protecting him, and they stop Reiner. True, they were all still fucking with Marlene's all the way back in chapter 119. That was only 10 months ago. Well, it was 11 months ago, right? Nearly a year ago now, because we're about to get the next chapter. So it feels about as long as it's been. Also, I like how Mikasa and Armin were farther away and didn't even see Eren's head get shot off. It's a nice realism thing, but unironically, I don't know, it's cool. Actually, Annie putting the fate of the world over her father, could be an interesting moment for her character. Not that I expected. That's actually a good point. That could probably... Then she'd be a little parallel to Erwin. Annie and Erwin parallel would be there if they actually have to put... If she actually has to let her father die to save the world. That's a hell of a moral quandary to put a character through. That'd be some interesting stuff to see what Annie would pick. Her entire character has been defined by this want to go back to her father, and if she throws that away, how will she grow from there? And then we could fill the hole with Armin come the end of the series, and they can live happily ever after. That could be a way to go with things. I like that. I think that's almost obvious now that has to happen. I think if we get this next chapter and it's all from Annie's father's perspective, I don't know. Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen now. Annie will have to get over her father either by choosing to let him die, or maybe having a conversation with him where he's like, it's fine if I die here, go save the world, or whatever the fuck. I can see that happening. Annie and Erwin both Aryan Master Race. Jesus Christ. Minty is joking, everybody. He is not Savage's alt. It's the group dynamic. Floch's probably still alive. We've referenced this a bunch throughout, but let's actually talk about it. Here we got Queen Gabi shooting this dastardly terrorist out of the skies. Floch was shot down by Gabi last chapter, but since the conceit of his character is that he's the fighter character that survived that we wish didn't, and because of all the horrible things he's done that he hasn't gotten comeuppance for, he's most likely still alive. While he kills will he kill somebody, someone, or take someone hostage? He has to die eventually, and probably in a more brutal than Gabi just shooting. Probably more brutally than Gabi just shooting him. I've theorized that Eren will be the one to kill him, to differentiate himself from his terroristic supporters, and it's a trope. The henchman getting killed by the bad guy to disassociate from the henchman that's done all this bad shit and being the villain intermediary before the finale. This happens in fucking everything. Either that or the henchman kills the main bad guy, and the henchman who's done all the most bad shit up until this point becomes the final villain. But I don't see Floch killing Eren. It'd be hilarious if Floch kills Eren and becomes the final villain. What will the Jaegers do? Will they meme out with Floch, or will they get really mad that their boy Eren got fucking cucked? Thankfully, I think we'll get to see both. As the good guys win. I put the common comeuppance. Minty says, beautiful. Actually, Annie doesn't live up to how much Kyle simps her and isn't deserving of the last few chapters spotlight. Yeah, obviously she is. That's why she was in the crystal, why everybody was extremely anticipating her coming out. Like you said, that Jean would be rewarded by the narrative. Annie might trust the Alliance in order to do what's right and be rewarded somehow with her. Anne keeps saying his. I don't know if this is intentional or a meme. Father surviving. Yeah, maybe. I feel like the sacrifice of like getting that element of her life out of the way so she has to grow afterwards is probably better from a narrative perspective. Some speculated that Floch might carry the Titan spinal fluid. I don't think it will happen, but the Jaegers did collaborate with the Malayan volunteers who had retrieved the spinal fluid. I don't know. We'll see if this comes into play. Plot elements are boring to speculate about. Armin be like, Annie, come out of the crystal so I can come in it. Hilarious. Now I'm just fucking up my riding in order to keep up. Anne, get on my level. I am speed. Not untrue. So yeah, Floch is still alive. He's probably going to be on the ship. You'd have to think. Everybody's basically assumed this. This is not the death of Floch, I don't think. Unless he just, like, crawls up onto the thing and Zeke comes up and then him and Zeke end up going somewhere or something. Maybe that's a way to get Zeke back into the narrative without... Because it seems a little weird. How does he got shot, he's in the water. Does he just, like, climb onto the boat somehow? I guess he's still got maneuver gear on. He could, like, vault onto there. And I do think, like, him holding someone hostage could be, like, another little, like, why won't this prick just die yet thing here. And to get him to Eren for Eren to kill him. Or maybe he just hides out on the boat until they get to Eren and then tries to secretly talk to Eren and Eren kills him. I don't know. There's a million ways to do it. I saw someone saying that they think he got shot backwards onto the port. Like, bro, do you know how momentum works? He had the time during the battle to just swim to the plane, I guess. Swimming while shot? Probably a little difficult, but I could see it happening. Do we need more deaths? Who's going to die? Who's dying before we end? Floch sneaking on board wounded with nothing to lose, knowing he will die, could do some damage to our characters. Floch could just start shooting people and not give a fuck. A lot of people want him to kill Hanji. I don't know. I feel like... We're about to get into who we think is going to live and die, and Hanji dying is like, or living is always on the verge. I used to think Zeke, Reiner, and Eren were the major deaths we were going to get, and I had both Shardis and especially Magath making it all the way, so some things have changed. Pierre, Connie, John, Yelena, Anya Capone, Hanji, who's in danger. So I still think Zeke, Reiner, and Eren all will die. Maybe Zeke survives. I think this is the one we've wavered on the most. But Eren and Reiner dying is almost certain, I think. Eren has to die. He's done too much bad shit to just be forgiven by the end. Either that or he gets put in prison for the rest of his life or something. And maybe that could work, because he only has like 2 years to live or whatever the fuck. Whatever his dumb Titan shit has got left. I thought for sure through Ymir they were going to get rid of that rule somehow. But really, makes sense, whatever. It's still around. Well, then all the Titan shifters are going to die eventually anyway, so they have to get rid of that if they're going to give Annie and Armin the happily ever after. They can't be happily ever after for like a few years. Unless, because of Annie being frozen, she has like the exact same amount of time Armin has left. That could be a thing. She was frozen for a little while. I don't know the fucking math. I ain't doing it right now. So Reiner and Eren both have to die, like, in the same action, I think. Probably Reiner killing Eren to save the world and sacrificing himself. It's been a big part of Reiner's character that he's, like, hang on from death so many times to the point where I think he has to die eventually. I think Gabi definitely survives. I think Falco definitely survives. Mikasa, I'm pretty sure, survives. Connie is still a question mark, but I'm pretty sure he survives. Hanji is the biggest question mark where we could go either way. Armin probably definitely survives. Floch definitely dies. Anya Capone and Yelena are 2 that are very interesting. I could see them both. I could see Anya Capone being a sympathetic minor death. I could see Yelena like redeeming herself in one action and taking a bullet for somebody or something. Chardis and Magath are gone. We don't have to speculate on them anymore. Who else is left? I think Annie survives. Annie's father at this point seems to be a dead man walking. Who else is even left on the board at this point? Glasses bloke still has to come back in. Never forget about him. I'm sure Chad will throw some names at me. How far do I have to scroll up? Hanji still needs to come in clutch for all those shots of her sussing out Eren and Historia simping. Yes, maybe. Eren's Historia simping. Yes, I think that still has to come back into play where she somehow knows where Historia is or something. Historia, I think, survives. For some reason, I think Hanji has still a role to play in the narrative, especially during the confrontation with Eren. Yeah, I think so, definitely. Hither People 53 is showing up. I think he's new around here. I feel like it makes sense for him to attack Armin, but there's no way for Floch is killing our Colossal Boy. That could be interesting, where Armin, in his days of not speaking for the next few chapters, is held hostage. Maybe he blows his jaw off again to prevent it from healing or something. That'd be a meme. Just to keep Armin out of things, but also keep him in things, visually just on screen without him doing anything. That could be interesting. I agree. People underestimate Hanji's ties to Eren. MLK version, I just think it's version 7. It could just be V7. Disabled Levi and Zeke will probably kill each other, as they don't really have any other purpose in the story right now. They definitely both survived that for some reason that Isam has saved up. I'm not sure why. Some people circulated that in the final panel it might be Zeke. Wouldn't be cool if, for anti-natalists, saying you're free to the child who's been born. Yeah, I get it, all right. Though I think it's probably just Eren and Grisha. The whole thing about the final panel is that it's not a spoiler, and we're not going to know until it's literally the last chapter who it is or what significance it has. It's literally the most pointless thing to speculate about, and I hate it. It was literally a fool. It was the spoiler that actually wasn't a spoiler. It literally tells us nothing about anything. We don't know if it's a dream or anything like that. It could literally be a million things, so it's literally pointless to speculate about it. I like the Zeke final panel theory. Reiner has to go down with Eren. I think so. Zeke needs to be used more, though. We need his POV. We already got the bunch of Zeke POV. Despite being Eren's brother, their dynamic hasn't been fleshed out. Well, they really don't know each other. Why does it need to be fleshed out? We saw them fight. That's fine. Zeke does need to be used again, though. There isn't much more to Zeke's point of view. And Hanji, yeah, maybe Levi too. Well, Hanji already does know where Historia is, does he? She says that in chapter 111. Well, alright then. Right, are we talking about Hanji being the father? Definitely. I want to see more of Jean and Reiner. I want to see less of Jean. I can see Floch shooting Jean. He would be the angriest at Jean being a traitor, or Gabi for shooting him and killing Sasha. What if Floch kills Gabi? What a meme that would be. He was going to throw Gabi at the blimp. This is true. I doubt he would be angry at Jean. Does Carl not know what antinatalism is? Yes, I figured it out. Not being born or something to do with that. I've definitely heard antinatalism before, because otherwise there's no way I was pronouncing that shit. He thought Jean was dead. I can see it being a Gabi thing. Gabi shot the first person. She recognized Sasha. So Floch goes for Jean. Floch kill Gabi, Floch kill Gabi, Floch kill. Maybe. I think everyone would expect me to be mad about that, but I would not have a reaction at all, I don't think. I think we're done with this. Did I miss anybody? We're down to a remarkably few important characters then. The speculation up until this point has been, big. Now it's just a very few amount of people. There's 15 characters that are still relevant to the story. We're lessening them out. We're thinning out the herd here, which is interesting. Wait, how many exactly do we have? We have Mikasa, Connie, Armin, Hanji all here. Then Reiner, Annie, Piek, Gabi, Falco, Eren. Anya, Capon, Yelena, Levi, Zeke. That's 14. And Floch, I guess, but everyone knows he's dead. So we've got 15 relevant characters left. Less than 20. We've also got Kiyomi. Kiyomi probably survives. I don't think there's a need for her to die. Unless everybody dies. In that case, everybody dies. So there's about 20, or just less, or just shy of 20 relevant characters remaining in the series. We got 5 chapters, I see, it seems, to agree with. Well, 6, because if you count 130. Kyle, if I remember correctly, you did say you believed Eren and Grisha to be the ones in the final panel back in some videos ago, right? I think I've said that before, where it'll just be something like it's just Eren again. I know you don't care, but I would like to offer this interpretation. I think in the final panel, Grisha says you're free in order to make the audience think that back of every instance of this sentence and versions of freedom that have been presented. In this way, Isayama makes the audience understand what the idea of freedom that Attack on Titan wanted to convey. Yes, we still don't know what the thematically freedom means in Attack on Titan, so it's going to tie into that eventually. It will have immense narrative weight when it comes to it, so it will matter. It's not that I'm saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying that speculation on it is inherently stupid because Isayama thought about it. He thought about all this before he made the final panel public. He didn't have to do that. He did it, and he's not going to spoil his own story or his own ending. It's just like, well, obviously he put it out because he knew it was safe because no one could glean anything from seeing the final panel because it's nothing really. Without the context, it's nothing. I do think it will be Gitzy and Eren, makes sense, thus closing Eren's character arc. Fuck Eren, we're on Gabi gang now. We don't need no Eren character arc. Will Eren be in this chapter? Are we really still asking this question again? Eren could be in the next chapter tangibly. People have been asking for nearly a year at this point for more Eren, but now it's actually reasonable. But if anything, I think it will be the cliffhanger for this chapter and a tease for the next one. Let us not forget that this is chapter 130. You'd think something big is abound. Maybe it'll be Historia lol. Obviously, the point is that we have gotten... Excuse me. Obviously, the point is that we have gotten next to no Eren since the time skip because it works into the great counter-narrative Isayama has been working on to show the different sympathetic sides of the conflict, but some people still deny this, so this is their reminder that they are the dumbest people on the planet and are wrong. True. Fuck the Agros. I still want to know why Eren is supposedly hidden, yeah. Was the Dino Skeleton Titan just something that happened reflexively when the Founder's power was activated, and he isn't actually in it? Fuck Gabi, all my homies hate Gabi, Zan says. Weird that the narrative is implying he has directions, or a place to go, cool. I don't know. Do we have anything else to say? I feel like we've already gone over all the Eren stuff before we even got to the slide. The next chapter should be out in the coming days. Expect a review here on the channel. Better fucking watch that review, where we actually have something to say rather than pointless speculation we do for them cheap views. But most people are gone by last minute predictions by this time, so... And now we've got people talking about JoJo to each other. That's disgusting. Any final thoughts? Minty, say something stupid. Go ahead. Someone say something. I'm taking a drink. I didn't Historia bait, so that's always a possibility. We could just have a Historia chapter 130. We don't see anything else. We just cut to Historia sitting down, and she's thinking about everything, and she reveals all of the Eren backstory. We get the sex scene. It'll be hot. Finally, we kill the asexuality element. Everything will be perfect. Minty says no. Well, and that's the case. If Minty doesn't even have something stupid to say, I think it's time to end this video. I don't know how fucking long it's been. I have no fucking concept of the passing of time. For the YouTube audience, support links in the description below. Make sure to check back for that review as it says on screen here. And thanks.